Hello, everyone. My name is Tristan Aguirre, and this is my persuasive speech. And the topic that I chose is: should classes about mental health and wellness be added to school curriculum? So, the first source I found was by the drweightsin.com, and it says about 50% of mental illnesses begin by the age of 14. That's very crucial because these young children, students, do not know how to really address what is going on with their head and what they're thinking and how to combat it in a positive way. And it also mentions that it is school is also a place where children need to learn that their behavior towards others can cause serious self-worth issues. Many students experience conflicts, bullying, and social exclusion at school. So that's very important to mention, because that is where students and children are most of their days, and they are exposed to different people, different personalities, and different kids that deal with things very differently than they might. So it's important to know that when a child is going through maybe a mental health issue, that they know how to combat it a certain way, and they have resources at school to help them in any situation that may be. And the next source that I found is studentbehaviorblog.org. And it says, according to a national survey, 50% of youth between the ages of 13 and 18 experience a mental health disorder. Like I mentioned previously with the last source, that's very crucial because students during this time are experiencing high levels of stress because they're trying to balance their schooling, make sure that all their assignments are done, making sure that they're getting really good grades in all their classes, and they're graduating on time, etc. So it's really important to know that if the student isn't getting those resources at home, that schools are offering these resources to their students, making sure that they know that they're not alone and there are ways to overcome these things, and making it aware that these things do happen and it can happen to anyone in any situation that may be. So those things are very important to mention. The next thing I'll talk about, that was mentioned in the article, was the 5 T's for mental health education in schools. The first one is talking about mental health. The second is providing appropriate training for teachers and staff. The third is incorporating mental health into teaching. The fourth is provide helpful tools for students. And the fifth is taking care of teachers. All these are very important because as teachers and staff, they need to know how to relay this information to their students in a proper way so that these students know what is going on with them, or know what is going on with someone else that may be dealing with mental issues, so they know how to address it in a positive way, and so on and so forth. The third source that I found is nystromecounseling.com, and it says it may seem that conversations surrounding mental health are becoming more open, but stigma remains. Not talking about mental health is what leads to shame around it. With saying that is meaning that if you're not talking about it, you're basically teaching your students that it's okay. They're not comfortable with asking you more information, and that they should just suppress what they're feeling, basically, because you're not giving them a safe place to talk about these things, because they might not even have that safe place at home. So you need these schools, I mean every school needs to have these resources for children and young adults to really be educated about these things and to know what is really going on. And another thing that was very important is that it is said to incorporate self care practices throughout the day. So, meaning if a teacher sees that some of her students are struggling a little bit, they look a little stressed, a little bit of down, that they could do deep breathing exercises. Those deep breathing exercises can really help the student to really just relax, take it easy, and really just get back to themselves so they can recuperate and really get back to what they need to be doing, so they're not really focused in on their head and what's really going on internally. The fourth source that I found is from brainforestcenters.com, And it says schools need to be portraying mental health as equally important and crucial as physical health. So it is very known that students take PE, so they teach us to really how to take care of our bodies, make sure we are giving all the nutrients that are healthy for us to keep going throughout the day. But they don't really teach us how to keep our mental state healthy as well. So that is why incorporating classes like mental health and wellness is important, because if we're teaching our students how to keep our bodies healthy, we need to make sure we are teaching our students to keep our mind healthy as well, because that's what keeps us going every day and allows us to get up every day and get started with whatever obstacle comes our way. The fifth source that I found is glideshire.com, and this this quote stood up to me because it is very important to think of it and how we are teaching our students to deal with these things. And it says, without being taught why mental health is important, kids won't understand the impact of bullying, spreading rumors, and fat shaming. They won't understand the importance of kindness, empathy, and care that we have to show to one another. That's really important, because if we're just teaching our kids just the regular basics of like math, science, etc., we're not teaching them how to be kind to one another. So with these classes, they're showing them that the repercussions that can happen when you're being mean to someone, because a young student isn't going to think, oh, I'm being mean, but what is it going to take a toll on the other person that you're being mean to, because they don't understand the mental damage it can do to a person when someone is being mean to them. So as a whole, classes should be incorporated. Every school should be incorporated classes about mental health and wellness, because it should be teaching young children to know how to deal with life situations and life difficulties, because some adults don't really know how to deal with those, and some children may not have the resources to have a therapist and someone to talk to in a higher standard. So it's really important that we should have these classes to really teach them these things, so that if they do come across someone that is maybe dealing with something, maybe having a hard time, we know how to come at them in a very positive way. Thank you.